All right, I want to discuss one thing here. First off, we have 39 days until the start of the regular season. Sounds like a lot, but it's 5.5 weeks. So it's not as far out as it may appear, may feel, as we may think. But 39 days out, I got the board. Now you'll notice the way these logos are set up. Like, is this the power rankings? No, these are the overall standings from last year. And the number I put over top is their standing from the year before. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, the Capitals won the Stanley Cup, so I would put them first. And again, and I only do that until the regular season starts. Until the regular season starts, in my eyes, the Capitals are the best team in the league because of that silver trophy that they've got. They keep raising up, and I don't blame them. And Chandler Stevenson took it to Humboldt yesterday, which was kind of an impressive story, and kudos to him. But then it gets kind of muddy because you're looking at that, and then I know Buffalo fans won't like seeing the slug on the board and whatnot, but Buffalo's a team that's made some changes, and they could be to their benefit. I think they're going to miss O'Reilly, to be honest, but they added some guys. They got Darlene now on the blue line, and we'll see how all of this turns out for them because now they've got Skinner, and they've got other players. But again, and I haven't done a power rankings in a while for this very reason. It is difficult to do off-season power rankings. I'm thinking that I will probably do another one. I don't want to say the start of training camp, but that's probably right about where. There's guys coming in on tryouts. Scotty Upshall's got a tryout with the Oilers, which means he's going to hang around with the Oilers until the Blues take him back. The Canuck fans saying it. I'm just kidding. He may very well get a job with the Oilers. Scotty Upshall's still a decent fourth line option, or a 13th forward. And Emerson Edom has a tryout, which Edom will flash his speed every now and then on the ice. You're like, wow, this kid's so fast, but the rest of his game never did catch up, and just being fast, it doesn't generally mean a job in the NHL. But because he's a cheap option, the Kings might pick him up. Because remember, the Kings are right up near the cap. But trying to figure out all this out, especially when you look at the numbers above the team, Nashville went from 16 to number 1. Winnipeg went from number 20 to number 2. And Tampa went from 18 to 3. And Boston went from 13 to 4. And the other issue I have is that when I'm trying to figure this out, and I'm trying to figure out which teams I see as getting better, I think Toronto gets better this year. I think the Kings have a shot at getting better if Kovalchuk's still ready to go. If Philly's defense is ready to dominate, they may get better. And Columbus may bounce back up into a top 10 spot as well. St. Louis, of course, we're all favoring them to get better. Can the Flames really finish this low again? Flames fans are probably going, yeah, they could. But I'm favoring them to get to move up a little bit. But it's funny because we get stuck on, so where the logos are right now, that's where the standings finished last year. We get stuck on that. We do. And then you can see year over year, there's been tremendous change in the NHL. Chicago, Rangers, and the Oilers, all three of them were top 10 in 2016-17. All three of them missed, which was just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Here's Montreal, they're number 7. They missed. The odds of all 4 of them missing again are actually pretty slim. At least one of them is going to bounce back up and probably get a surprise playoff spot. But again, while we sit 39 days out from the regular season, and all we have going on right now are little tournaments here and there and this and that. I know there's the Young Guns tournament or World Junior, whatever's going on right now. But all these little tournaments, it can get you all excited about players, and then 5 weeks from now, we're back into the NHL, and all those little tournaments are kind of sort of forgotten. There's the Young Stars tournament, which is coming up in Penticton, but it's not as exciting as it was because there's not as many teams involved as there used to be. Honestly, I think if they had a setup sort of like what the NBA has with their young stars playing during the summer, I think that would benefit the NHL. But again, You're asking people to watch hockey games and feel that they're of consequence in July and August, and that's tricky. Because as much as we may be missing hockey right now, because we've spent more than 39 days without it, so we're over halfway through the off season. You do get fatigue. I know I had that at points last year during the regular season where I felt fatigued. I felt like this is a lot of hockey. This is crazy. I also wanted to talk to you guys while I'm doing this video on the previews. So I'm still going to be doing the daily previews, which unlike last year, I'm going to do them right from day one right through. I am debating about different ways to do it, whether to still do it as daily previews with timestamps, or do previews for each game when it's a day of 3 or 4 games. Just do a video where I preview each game that's coming up that night, or if it's one of those big nights where there's 15 games, 14, 13 games, I think anything double digits or higher, do a video where I'm previewing the East Coast games and a video where I'm previewing the West Coast games, or find a way of splitting it up. The one thing with that is, of course, that subscription feeds being what they are, it may be possible you get a notification for not every video, and you may not get a notification for a preview for the game you want to watch. So that's the other thing I have to consider as well. I am excited for the upcoming season. I am poring over these magazines. Of course, the other day I picked up all of these magazines, and I'm poring over them daily. So when I'm not doing videos, I'm probably watching games on NHL 18. That's right, watching them. And because I want to watch some hockey, right? Because even though I had fatigue in June, there's part of me saying, geez, but I want some hockey right about now. So, and on my current NHL 18 file, I did a fantasy draft. I did that with the Ottawa Senators, and right now I think my team's 16-7-2. Remember, I'm watching. I'm not actually playing it. I'm watching. So, it's an interesting scenario we find ourselves in right now, where I know there are going to be power rankings that come out from TSN and from Sportsnet and from everybody else, because honestly, it's something that causes great debate, and we're all very interested in it. And for people who may go, well, what are power rankings? Power rankings try to measure momentum. It's not necessarily about who the best team is, it's about momentum. That's why I can't bump the Capitals down out of first until the season starts. Because for momentum, how do you say that their momentum has shifted since they won the Stanley Cup, since they kept basically everybody from that roster? So I'm in this interesting dilemma, for lack of a better term, where I feel the need to do a power rankings video, but I'm not sure how exactly to make that work at this stage. I know I did one, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and at this point I feel like I should be starting fresh. That's why I put everything on the board, and I put all these numbers up, and then I looked and went, well, that doesn't tell me anything then. And because I'm trying to find a way to do this where we're trying to do the predictor thing, right? Now, if we're going to do the predictor thing, then Toronto moves up to first for me, because I think I could see them winning the President's Trophy this year, and then that just looks like clickbait. Always got Toronto in first. The Capitals just won the Cup. Why is Toronto in first? So again, until the season starts, there's a need to have Washington at 1, and there could be an argument made for having Vegas at 2, because Vegas was in the Stanley Cup final. And that's when people say, yeah, but Vegas looks like they might have lost some stuff in the offseason. They're not going to have a 109-point season again, and those people could very well be right. So it's an interesting dilemma I find myself having. And so here's the question. What's the best way to go about it from here? Because I don't want to just be relying on last season's results either. I'd like to start fresh. I'd like to have a brand new, this is the first official 2018-19 power rankings. And yet again, they have to be first until the regular season starts. So it's an interesting topic. I figured I'd give it a shot. You guys can let me know in the comment section below what you think about the daily previews for the games, and for reviews as well. Now keep in mind, for a great portion of the season this past year, basically the whole regular season, I was trying to balance my part-time job, which very often got in the way of me watching and reviewing and previewing games, and it was absolutely awful trying to get a schedule. Now that this is my sole my sole employment, thanks to you guys. Again, because you guys have made this possible, would love to know how you think I should go about that. I know it has to be a regular schedule. Everything should be up at the same time. That's why I try to make sure my videos go up about noon Eastern, 9 o'clock my time. That's when I want them to start going up. And I want to have them up by 3, 4 in the afternoon Eastern at the latest, because they seem to perform best when I put them up in the morning. So there you go. The dilemma of off-season power rankings, and yet, you know, I while looking at this board, I'm like, all right, well, I would put Vancouver and Ottawa probably still towards the bottom. Arizona hasn't, you know, they've probably improved in the offseason, but how much? How much do I trust Montreal? Like, so there are teams I can see being at the bottom, and even while Buffalo and their fans are very excited about this upcoming season, and I agree, I still think that there's going to be another year before they jump back into a playoff spot. I think this is going to be another one of those years where they're learning on the fly. There's a lot of young kids. Their goaltending's unproven. I think it's going to be one of those years. But the future is very, very bright for Buffalo. Brighter than when they were these. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, I'm asking you guys your opinion on the matter of power rankings and how to do the previews in 39 days when there's a lot of games on the 3rd of October. That's right. Hockey starts on the 3rd of October, so you can mark that on your calendar if you haven't already. That's when we're back. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.